Also just a quick review on this SEM trim black paint here from DeLorean Go. Maybe other places as well, but DeLorean Go sell this stuff, and I believe it's hard to get hold of. So basically, as you can see here, I painted the Louvres. So basically I removed this yesterday. It's only held on, by two 13mm either side, plus then you pop off the little springs holding the struts on, and then carefully lift it out. So you can get this out, one man job to get this out. I put on some extra blankets on this section here, just when I was lifting it off, in case it slipped or anything like that, it wouldn't scratch, pretty much the mint paintwork down there. Yeah, so I took it off, and then I then wet sanded it as per advice on the internet. Rubbed down a couple of different types of blocks, and then a fine sandpaper. Super easy. Took about maybe a quarter of an hour to do that, I would say. And then I wiped over it. So I rinsed it and then dried it, and then wiped over it with this acetone here, which instantly lifted off any remains of anything, because you could literally see the colour changing from a really sort of charcoaly black to a more sort of dark grey. And the reason I want to do this, by the way, is because it was faded, significantly faded, and also I must say that I have been using things like Back to Black, and just various different types of products. ACF 50, I think the other one was, and most of them make it look black, which is great. But you find that if it does rain, then you get droplets on here, and then obviously with the heat from the engine, they dry up. And then they dry up in the Back to Black or the ACF 50, and you get like droplet marks. And then you try and wipe over that, and then you still got basically a faint droplet mark on it. Whereas if they're painted, I can spray on some normal waterless wash and wax, and then that should then come up instantly and clean. And so yeah, to be honest with you, the Back to Black ACF 50, all that stuff, looks good, but wasn't ideal at all. So took it off, so dried it out, so cleaned it. Sanded it, etc., sprayed, sort of stood it mostly upright, so sort of against the wall, with a sheet, etc., there and on top of a box, and then sprayed it in the sun, and that paint goes on really, really well. So this paint here, it worked incredibly well until about 2/3 of the can, despite sort of keeping shaking, and then that's when you start getting dollops of spray. So even a spraying technique, you're going all the way across and then all the way back was the best technique, but even then you're still getting a few little odd splatterlets. Even though you weren't letting go of the trigger, of the spray, you're still getting a few splatterlets as well when it gets to about 2/3 of a can. So I've got, I'd say approximately a quarter of a can left in there, because at that point it just wasn't worth progressing any further with that can. People on the internet said, you need one can. You could use one can. I've done one can here, but really I would definitely recommend 2 cans. So I'm going to buy another can, and then I can do these side items here. I probably won't do the mirrors, I don't particularly think. I'll probably do those though, because as you can see, those are that colour. And then I will use the rest of the paint on here for another go. Because there's certain sections here, like this, where I had a spoiler on mine. If I had additional paint, I could probably build up this section here. And also this section here. And obviously these are here, of course, because there was one hole there for the spoiler. So I put some little stands that stand on to hold it up at the nice height. But otherwise it looks incredibly good. From one can, that looks really, really good. I was able to do up the sides as well of it. Didn't obviously do the back, obviously, because there's nowhere near enough paint to do the back, but we need to do the back anyway, because all the fading on mine is all on the front. So yeah, it's a really, really, really good product. See how long it lasts. We'll see when it does rain, if I can wipe over it, like I believe I should be able to. The trick to put it back, is again, it's one man job. Obviously it's much easier with 2 people, of course. Then you don't want to worry about the risk of getting anything scratched. But yeah, I put mine in yesterday, put it on loosely, connected it all up, put it down, and then I use this bar here with an angle on, and then and the cloth. So I place the cloth here, and then come in at that angle there to better tighten up those two, and then obviously move the cloth over here and go that way, because obviously you don't want to be slipping, on the wrench, and obviously scratching and damaging your mint paint. And did that, lifted it up, tightened it up, and then that was sorted, and so the latch door works. Yeah, really, really happy days. So yeah, thank you. hope that's some information for everyone, and just confirm that yeah, it's a decent product, and I didn't need to use any plastic coats, undercoats. You know, the internet sort of suggested, some people said use it, some people said don't use it. I didn't use it, you know, as per most people, and it's completely fine. And I didn't put any top coat on it either, because this particular finish clearly is 100% the perfect finish for this car. And if you have any gloss on there, you know, yes, it might protect the paint better and all that sort of thing, but this looks absolutely spot on. It's just right. Cool. Cheers.